All right, man, Torture Talk. Like, share, subscribe to the page. Hit the thumbs up button if you like the content. So today I'm going to be talking about the disturbing truth of why Drake fell off and he most likely won't come back from this. So look, before we get into that, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the page. Hit the thumbs up button if you like the content. All the beautiful single ladies, put one in the chat. All the fellas, y'all know where to find the ones at. If you are not subscribed, let me work for your subscription today. Thank you very much. They call me the hidden gem. I went from 1,300 subscribers to almost 10,000. I don't sell no merch, but I do have content, and that's absolutely free. But if you want to give a donation, links will be on the screen. Cash App, PayPal is in the description. Thank you very much, everybody, for donating. I really appreciate y'all. I love y'all, man. Sometimes I look up and I say, damn, I'm almost there. About 6 more months. I'll be able to do this full time for 11. Full time for a living, and that's what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to sit here and give y'all advice, talk to y'all, you know, things, tell y'all about things and my opinion on things. You know what I mean? This is what I'm trying to do. I love doing this. I love it. Absolutely love it. All right, so let's get to it, man. All right, so let's get to it. Also, let me know where y'all from, too. You know what I'm saying? Had a couple people from Liberia, South Africa. Yeah, man. I'm making moves. All right, man, let's get to it. 6 o'clock show. Let's go.
2024, the Drake we once knew is no more, because his stardom, fame, and notoriety in the music industry is now starting to become non-existent. Once upon a time, Drake was seen as the guy at the mountaintop, generating hit after hit. His aura in the music industry was so strong that it only took one feature from him to blow up artists' career like Lil Baby, Migos, and The Weeknd. But it seems nowadays, that aura has started to go away, with his newest feature on Camila Cabello's album that totally flopped. But there might be another sinister secret to Drake's past that he never told us that's returning to haunt him. So, how did a Jewish Canadian teen actor even manage to take over the entire hip-hop industry, which is known to be a Black American born and bred genre that was started in New York? Well, it all started in Drake's teen years. Coming from Toronto, Canada, Drake would often describe his childhood as growing up poor, despite the fact he grew up in the middle-class neighborhood of Forest Hill, which makes...
Yeah, so this is going to be really interesting, I can tell. The edits is very good on this video. This is going to be really interesting because there is a lot of things that I'm reading and I'm seeing a lot of things from Drake's past that is going to come back to haunt him. Like, for real.
The verse from Kendrick when he says,
I like Drake with the melodies, I don't like Drake when he act tough,
makes so much more sense because Drake never really grew up in a tough and poor environment, but rather a nice neighborhood. Around the age of 17 to 18, Drake would start to get infatuated with hip-hop. And in a previous interview with GQ, Drake had said something that might reveal that he was never really into hip-hop, but it was rather just a phase he got into, saying, 17, 18 is when I was really getting into that hip-hop phase, and really studying the things that I needed to study as far as learning about flows and learning about lyrics. In 2008, Drake would quit his short acting career to pursue music full-time, because he said he was kicked off the show due to his hectic schedule, which made sense because he had already released his debut mixtape, Room for Improvement, in 2006, and his second mixtape, Comeback Season, in 2007, which got some minor attention from hip-hop fans. Another milestone that surprisingly happened in 2008 was Drake meeting Lil Wayne for the first time, which actually started out shaky because Wayne thought Drake was trash. See, the story about how Drake and Wayne actually met goes something like this. James Jazz Prince, son of Rap-A-Lot label boss James J. Prince, was the first person with industry ties to recognize Drake. Jazz would find Drake on MySpace after his two previous mixtapes started to gain some attention, and he would introduce these tracks to J. Prince. But eventually, J. Prince would pass on him because of his vocal style. Later, Jazz would show Wayne these same tracks, but Wayne famously said that he thought Drake was garbage. But it wasn't until 2009 where Drake's career would shoot to the moon, because on February 13th...
Now, I don't know if he had people writing for him back then. I'm not sure about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure about that, but let's keep it going.
2009, Drake released So Far Gone under his self-created OVO label. The mixtape's most successful track, Best I Ever Had, was released as its lead single, and the song was nominated for 2 Grammy Awards, Best Rap Solo Performance and Best Rap Song, and peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. But soon, Drake's whole life would turn upside down, as later in the year, his longtime mentor Lil Wayne would sign Drake to his new label, Young Money, where Drake's career would officially be cemented into the mainstream. Also, around the end of the year, he would release one of the hottest songs of the decade, Forever, with Eminem, Lil Wayne, and Kanye, which till this day still has talks about who had the best verse. Let me know down in the comments who you think had the best verse. Evidently, in the next year, 2010 would serve as one of the best years in Drake's career, because he would host his first ever OVO Fest and also dropped his well-anticipated first studio album, Thank Me Later, which sold 447,000 copies its first week and featured contributions from big names like Jay-Z, Kanye West, Timbaland, Nicki Minaj, and his mentor, Lil Wayne. The album also debuted at number 1 on the US Billboard Top 200 chart and went platinum in Canada in less than 1 week. At this point in his career, Drake was known as the golden boy in the music industry, having no beefs or notable scandals. But Drake wasn't actually the golden boy everyone thought he was, but instead a manipulative, demonic figure behind the scenes. See, Drake is known to be a ladies' man. He even has an album titled Certified Lover Boy, and is well known for having multiple romantic secret relationships from the likes of Rihanna, Serena Williams, Jennifer Lopez, and multiple other singers and models, which is normal, being that Drake is one of the most successful bachelors in the world. But what happens when those women aren't necessarily women just yet? Multiple
Wow. This is crazy.
times during the back and forth beef between Drake and Kendrick would on numerous occasions claim that Drake messed with underage girls. Like on Not Like Us, he says,
Certified lover boy, certified pedophiles. Wow.
he even mentions this again on the song Meet the Grams, where he called Drake a quote-unquote pervert and warned Steph Curry and LeBron James to keep their families away from him.
Hey, Lil Bron, keep the family away. Hey, Curry, keep the family away. To anybody that embody the love for their kids, keep the family away.
Kendrick says all of this because he claims that he's heard that Drake once told those associated with him to keep their young sisters hidden from him because he likes his women young. But believe it or not, these pedophile claims have been surrounding Drake way before he even met Kendrick. On May 17, 2010, Drake performed at the Ogden Theater in Denver, Colorado. During the concert, Drake called the fan onto the stage during an interlude and started to kiss her neck and hug her from behind, before saying that he was getting carried away and asking her what her age was. She replied that she was 17, which in Colorado is the legal age of consent, to which Drake replied, "I can't go to jail yet," and stopped doing what he was doing. However, he continued, saying he didn't know if he should feel guilty or not, but that he had fun, and sent her off the stage with a kiss on the cheek.
You see people booing, and he's talking about something, I can't go to jail yet. This guy, man, I'm telling y'all, man, this guy, oh, man, this is crazy, man. Let's go.
Drake was 24 at the time.
Bro, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. This shit is crazy, bro. That's crazy.
The very start of his career, but it doesn't stop there. In 2013, Kim Kardashian and Kanye West arranged for Drake to perform at Kylie Jenner's Sweet 16, a surprise she had no idea about. Drake was 27 at the time. But this didn't stop rumors and speculation that the pair were seeing each other behind the scenes. Rumors of which were given slightly more credibility due to the fact that Kanye recently talked about how Drake slept with Jenner behind his buddy Travis Scott's back. Not only that, but for a long time, Jenner and rapper Tyga started seeing each other before she legally became of age and officially announced their relationship. And finally, Millie Bobby Brown. I love him. I met him in Australia and he's honestly so fantastic and a great friend and a great role model. We just texted the other day and he was like, I miss you so much. And I was like, I miss you more. When asked what kind of advice he gives her and about what, Brown said, about boys. He helps me. Yeah. He's great. He's wonderful. I love him. The interviewer pondered further, asking Brown what his advice was with boys. And she said, you know, that stays in messages.
What advice does he give you? Like, what does he say?
About boys. He helps me.
What?
Yeah. He's great. He's wonderful. I love him.
What's his advice with boys?
You know, that stays in the text messages.
This interview raised a lot of eyebrows and concerns with people, especially given his already shaky history. Brown, of course, responded to the allegations in a similar manner to how Billie Eilish would respond a couple of years later. You guys are weird, for real. She wrote in her Instagram story about the press who wrote about her friendship with Drake. I'm lucky to have people in the business extend their time to help me further my career and offer their wisdom and guidance. I'm very blessed to have amazing people in my life. All of these allegations have hurt a small part of Drake's career and weaned a lot of people off of the rapper's music. But so far, nothing has been proven. Drake has more different occasions where he was seen trying to or actually dealing with underage girls. But if I put all of them in here, this video would be way longer than it already is.
That's crazy. There's a couple of other ones that I seen where some lady was telling that he was texting her daughter. Her daughter was 15 or 16, and he was texting her daughter, and the mom, she asked the mom, can she go see him? And the mom said, well, are you sure this is really him? And then he called her FaceTime on Instagram. And he said, yeah, this is really me. And the mom let him meet up with the daughter. Now, they went out to dinner or something like that. I think he took her family out. Something like that. I don't know exactly what it was, but yeah, that's crazy.
Also has another scandal that followed him around since the beginning of his career that doesn't go for anyone, but rather himself. Like everyone knows, Drake isn't actually light-skinned, but rather mixed. Because although his father is a black man from Memphis, Tennessee, his mother is a Jewish woman from Canada. So growing up, Drake was confused on where he truly belonged. And this feeling was only amplified after he first entered into the music industry. I was rejected because he didn't seem to fit the criteria of a rapper back then. But to explain it in simpler terms, he got rejected by the industry because he wasn't quote-unquote black enough. And because of this, Drake felt that in order for him to finally be accepted by the industry, he had to act more urban in a way so he could achieve his musical dreams. This then made Drake turn delusional due to the fact of him leaning heavily on his black side, making it seem that he was like a mafia boss and he was like that, when in reality, he wasn't anything like that at all, which many true artists and higher ups in the industry already knew. This is why artists like Rick Ross call Drake a white boy. Flow is copy and paste. Weezy gave you the juice. Another white boy at the park wanna hang with the crew, implying Drake has been cosplaying for the come up. And this is also the reason why Kendrick calls Drake a colonizer. You run to Atlanta when you need a check balance. Let me break it down for you. This is the real nigga challenge. You called Future when you didn't see the club. Lil Baby helped you get your lingo up. 21 gave you false street cred. Thug made you feel like you were slime in your head. Quavo said you can be from the north side. 2 Chainz say you good, but he lied. You run to Atlanta when you need a few dollars. You're not a colleague, you're a colonizer. This can also come back.
Right there, man. That's the greatest bar ever in hip hop history. You're not a colleague, you're a fucking colonizer. That, I believe that bar totally disrupt Drake, totally disrupt him in his head. Because you got to understand, Drake grew up believing, he was very confused, I can tell. Because he didn't really know whether he fit in with black people or white people. He really didn't know. More likely, he knew he fit in with white people, but he didn't know how to fit in with black people. So he felt like he had to be more black. Seen a video where he was talking about, so he said, nigger with the hard R, ER. You know what I'm saying? And I think that if you look at his, like if you look from so far gone. You look towards his newer, you can tell that he embracing his black side more. But when Kendrick said that to him, I think that really messed him up and said, I'm with the culture's feeling like, damn, the culture really don't like me. And you seeing the ramifications of it right now.
To the internet famously calling Drake a culture vulture because he often tries to imitate the musical culture from different countries and tries to implement them and put them in his music and claims it as his own. For example, being his quote-unquote ties to the UK and Jamaica. One of Drake's most detrimental moments to his career was when this picture came onto the internet. But believe it or not, as bad as this picture seems, that wasn't even the worst thing that came from this photo. That would have actually been the story behind the photo that exposed Drake's secret life. Drake has been known to be in many different rap beefs and won a lot of them, but the one beef he was in that is unanimously decided that he lost was against Pusha T. Drake and Pusha T's beef actually started way back in 2012 when Pusha T made a song called Exodus 23 and 1, where he would diss Drake rapping the lines, contract all effed up. I guess that means you all effed up. You signed to one nigga, that signed to another nigga, that signed to 3 niggas. Now that's bad luck. This short was likely directed at Drake, who was signed to Lil Wayne's Young Money imprint, a subsidiary of Cash Money Records, which operates under Universal Music Group. Both of the rappers.
I think I'm gonna do a reaction to Exodus and Adonis. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna do a Duppy freestyle. What's the name too? I'm gonna do all them joints. Let's go.
Go back and forth with each other, but it wasn't until 2017 where their beef started to heat up. When Drake released his album More Life, he called out Pusha T on the song Two Birds, One Stone and claimed that Pusha T is living a false life, rapping the lines, but really it's you with all the drug dealer stories that's gotta stop. You made a couple chops and now you think you Chapo. You middleman in this shit, boy. You was never them guys. I can tell, cause I look most of you dead in your eyes, and you will be trying to sell that story for the rest of your lives. Tension began to rise between Pusha T and Drake after Pusha T released his album Daytona, which was produced entirely by Kanye West. On the album's closing track, Infrared, Pusha T continued to question Drake's lyrical abilities, rapping. It was written like Nas, but it came from Quentin, referring to Quentin Miller, a rapper who was known to ghostwrite for Drake behind the scenes. Naturally, social media went up in flames after hearing Pusha T's diss, causing Drake to come out of quote-unquote album mode to address Pusha T. Drake then released his diss track, Duppy Freestyle, which reminded Pusha T that Kanye once called Drake to help him write for Father Stretch My Hands and 3 Hours, 2 songs that were on Kanye's The Life of Pablo album. What do you really think of the niggas that's making your beats? I've done things for him I thought he never would need. Father had to stretch his hands out and get it from me. I popped style for 30 hours, then let him repeat. I just left from over by y'all putting pens to the sheets. Tired of sitting quiet and helping my enemies eat. Drake ended this attack by famously requesting to be paid from Pusha T and Kanye for the publicity. But it wouldn't end there, because nearly a week later, Pusha T would drop one of the most interesting diss tracks of all time, revealing that Drake had a secret son. The internet went crazy with the claims that Drake was a deadbeat dad because he never really looked after Adonis and was hiding him from the world. After a while,
yeah, man, that was crazy. Bro, that was crazy. Drake took 2 massive L's in his career. That was the first biggest L he took. That was a big L. That L right there was big. He quit. He said, he got me. He beat me. And obviously the Kendrick L is the biggest one.
Drake would eventually start to show his son Adonis to the world, with many people saying he only did this because Pusha T called him out on it. And if it wasn't for that, the world would have never known about Adonis. This part of Drake's life would serve as the turning point in his career, because although he was still seen to always hit #1 on the charts, fans and critics alike felt that Drake's music quality went down. But was it because he lost his musical touch? Or was the world finally seeing Drake for who he truly was? After the release of his 2016 album Views, many fans can say that this was the beginning of Drake's fall off. After Views, his music became lazy, formulaic, and uninspired, and he relied on his record label to set him up with writers, marketing, pay radio stations for streams, and so on. And on the public behavior side, Drake started to become somewhat of a misogynist, He started becoming insecure, cynical, and bitter towards pretty much every ex that didn't want him, shaming and shit-talking to women who didn't want to sleep with him. Drake has a hit.
That's 100% facts. He definitely was doing that. He definitely was doing that. He did that with a lot of chicks he was with, saying and bringing them up in songs and all types of stuff. Like, what you doing all that for? Like, what you doing all that for? He's going through a crisis, man.
History of blatant misogyny and disrespect to women, specifically black women. This can be heard all over his For All the Dogs album. And on the song titled Slime You Out, the song begins with him saying, "I don't know what's wrong with you girls." As well as on one of the more controversial songs on the album, Fear of Heights, where he talks about his rumored relationship with Rihanna. He says, "Yeah, and the sex was average with you. Yeah, I'm anti because I had it with you. And I had way better bitches than you, to be honest." But this isn't the first time he's been accused of disrespecting other black women. Because in August of 2020, Megan Thee Stallion was shot in the foot by rapper Tory Lanez after a pool party. When she was shot, fans and her
Allegedly.
peers came to her support and called for Tory Lanez to be put in prison. Drake showed constant support to Tory Lanez even after his sentencing. He references the shooting as a punchline in his song Circle Loco, saying, "This bitch lied about getting shots but she's still a stallion." In Drake's eyes, Megan Thee Stallion's experience was invalid, demonstrated by his silence after she angrily responded to his mention of her via Twitter. Drake undermined her legitimacy from fans, her peers, and in the courtroom, as well as capitalized on existing misogyny to generate buzz around a cheap joke. All of this, combined with him hiding a child, grooming underage girls, and his tendency to steal parts of music culture from other countries and trying to claim it as his own, can all be a testament to people starting to back off of Drake, because they now see him for who he truly is. Drake has had a long run, and it looks like it's finally coming to an end. He finally realizes that people no longer care for his money and fame, because what he has done has already left a stain on his image. And after his beef with Kendrick, this only added more flame to the already burning fire. In addition to the release of his last album, Drake claims he will take a break from dropping albums for a while, due to health reasons. But the truth is, Drake knows that his time has finally run out. Drake isn't the only rapper who seems to be going down